Hi guys, today's video is about the real reason why Lancelot is as powerful as he is, and how he has infinite power at his disposal. So let's get started. Well, the explanation begins when Lancelot is paying a visit to his father Ban, so that he can learn a new skill, more specifically, the sneakiness of his father, which allows him to appear behind Lancelot without the Knight of War noticing in the slightest. This intrigues him. In the middle of their training, it rings, just like it was the day Lancelot vanished. And then the flashback starts. The flashback goes back to when Lancelot and Jericho vanished to another dimension by entering a mysterious portal in a rock. In this flashback, which starts in chapter 209 of the 4-core manga, we see what happened inside. First, it's raining a lot, and then they appear in a new place where there's no rain, just a big lake and a path that leads to God knows where. And the lake is not only big but very deep as well. So they go, very motivated, following the path to find out anything useful about that place, as well as maybe some way out of there. They are pretty motivated, but 3 days later, not so much anymore. Lancelot is just a kid, so he's desperate to find something useful there. And here he finds out a very important detail about this place. Lancelot starts drinking the water of the lake. Sure, it's a bit dangerous, but what could he do if he has no water with him? But now you might question, what about eating? What have they been putting inside themselves? Well, the water of the lake, as Jericho explains, fills them up without needing to eat food. Very weird if you ask me. And what's even more weird is the tentacle that sprouts out from the water and grabs Lancelot, just in time for Jericho to stop it with her sword. Just before Lancelot uses his, at the time tiny shining road to attack it. And even though Jericho tries to console him, Lancelot can't help but feel bad about his weak attack. Again, we see how desperate Lancelot really is. After 10 days, he's still a kid and all. And just as Jericho tries to calm him down, just to mess with Lancelot's mind a little bit more, they find a bunch of bodies floating in the water. These are from people who have been there, just in the same situation they are right now. So yeah, then we jump to 20 days later. Lancelot is talking about how his father Ban is incredible, and how he wanted to be like him. They are very chill given their situation, until Lancelot starts crying, saying he could never be like his father, since he would just die in that place. That's exactly when Jericho acts like the big sister, and does her best to calm him, saying she'll stake her own life to protect Lance. But now, this mysterious girl with black eyes appears. Well, she sprouted out of the lake, so she's no good news. And that was the last panel of chapter 209. Lucky us, we don't have to wait. In the next chapter, with this beautiful colored cover right there, we see Lance and Jericho in shock, while the mysterious lady says it's a pleasure to meet, not them, but Lancelot. Why only Lancelot? We'll find out soon. So the lady spells it out, telling them she's a being born from chaos, and people who visit there call her the Lady of the Lake. The lady then expresses some of her interest toward Lancelot, very suspicious interest. And as Jericho gets into a defensive stance to protect Lancelot, another suspicious dude appears. Greeting them, the innocent Lancelot goes over to talk to him, while the Lady of the Lake plunges back into the water. The suspicious knight, who seems to have eyes drawn on his helmet, which I found pretty funny, don't know about you, prepares to attack Lance, and when he does, Jericho gets there just in time to save him, managing to throw the knight back into the lake, so they have a bit of time to chill once more. Lancelot apologizes for the trouble, and they are fine once again. Well, not for long. Just then, Jericho says that Knight probably killed the rest of his group, judging by his blood-encrusted suit of armor. And why would he do that? Well, she notices he said he wanted the whole lake for himself, which is a big red flag. Maybe the lake drove him to do that or something. She also notices the strange strength the water is giving her, since she only meant to parry the attack of the knight, but couldn't control her own force. So she says they should probably avoid drinking water from the lake. All of this while the Lady of the Lake is watching them with that face right there, so we know she's up to no good. That's when we jump straight to day 116. Where things seem to be heated, Jericho is making this sad face while desperately drinking the water, even tossing Lance away because he's trying to stop her. And when she gets up, this is the face she makes. So yeah, you can see where this is going. She even says sorry to Lance just before falling asleep. Then Lancelot starts training so that he can protect his master, see his mother again, and become as strong as his dad. Ban really serves as a mirror for him. But while he's training, Jericho walks and falls into the lake, and that tentacle grabs Lancelot again. The Lady of the Lake appears with Jericho trapped inside a massive body of water. Here, The Lady of the Lake says Jericho held out surprisingly long, but now she's at her limit, referring to Jericho resisting the effects of drinking the lake's water, which drives people crazy, even more than playing ADC in League of Legends. So Lancelot demands an explanation, and the lady explains, saying, "Indeed, anyone who drinks it long enough will die in time, unable to withstand it. The lake, after all, has accumulated an infinite store of power. In fact, this isn't even water. It's just magical force made visible by its sheer density, and chaos itself created it. But then, why would she abduct all those people there, knowing they would eventually die?" And she says something like, "Me? I did nothing. I'm not the problem for bringing them here and killing them. They are the problem for being too weak." That's why she's so interested in Lancelot. He drank so much water and is still doing just fine. And just as she keeps yapping about all this, Lancelot stops her with a shining road. Now, in chapter 211, we see the sheer power of it compared to the first one he threw earlier. Just look at how far it goes. She keeps telling Lancelot how special he is, but he doesn't care. However, that last shining road was too strong, and it drained him so much that he just collapsed. Now she even tells Lance she fell in love with him and talks about becoming one with him. Even though she thinks it's impossible, she's reasonable enough to want him to stay there until he grows old and dies. Not bad at all. But then she lets Jericho talk to Lance one last time, which was a big mistake. It gives Lancelot enough motivation to throw himself into the lake. What's the plan, you might ask? Well, he's not killing himself, I assure you. His plan was to drink up the entire lake. Let's turn off our brains for a moment and just be happy with the fact that he did it. He saved his master and gained an insane amount of magical power. The same power the lady herself said was infinite. In the end, even the Lady of the Lake was happy, because she became one with Lance, just as she wanted. And now Lancelot is able to throw the kind of shining roads we know today. That's the real reason why Lancelot is so strong, stronger than any of the 4 knights right now. And by the way, he did learn the skill he was trying to learn from Ban at the beginning, for those of you who remembered that part. And that was the video. If you watched this far, consider subscribing. The subscriber rate here is pretty low, and that would give you a constant stream of content like this straight into your YouTube feed. Thank you all, and that was it for today.